I'm going to let this guy tell you what he thinks about Kamala Harris. All right.
Good evening. Welcome back into Prime News. I'm Robb. We're live in San Francisco, California, where Kamala Harris served as district attorney for almost 10 years. Kamala was in charge of crime, and her record is nothing close to what Democrats wish it was. She ruined lives. She literally ruined lives while she was district attorney and attorney general, like that of Jamal Truelove, an aspiring filmmaker and actor who was wrongfully convicted of murder. He was arrested.
Now, here's my question. How many of y'all know who Jamal Truelove is? Spike did a documentary on him, Spike TV, if I'm not mistaken. If you guys know who Jamal Truelove is, give me a thumbs up. If you guys do not, then give me a thumbs down.
For the murder of his friend who was shot in a public housing project, his dreams crushed, but a California appeals court overturned that conviction and was eventually acquitted. Truelove's attorneys argue that the police here in San Francisco actually manipulated witnesses into wrongfully identifying Truelove as the shooter. And I sat down with Jamal Truelove today to get his side of his life-changing story. Take a look. Jamal, thanks so much for being with us. I want to go back to 2010. It's verdict day. The jury's deliberated for the last 4 days. You're going to find out if you're going to jail for the rest of your life. By the way, for something you did not do, Kamala Harris is district attorney in California at that time, the first black district attorney. Take it from there. Take me through what happened.
Well, on that day of conviction, I kind of already knew I was convicted before it even came out because the jury asked the question,
Now, let me ask you guys this. How come people aren't talking about this? And how come if you bring this up, you got all of these celebrities going wild, really being disrespectful and attempting to shout black voters down? Why is that?
Difference between first degree murder and second degree murder. So just at the time in my mind, it was like, how can this happen? How can this be? And what will be the timeline of me potentially, getting back off of this, which is a 99% chance that I don't get back off of this life sentence. So it was eerie, and it was very it was emotional. One can imagine.
You said that Kamala had a look on her face. She was laughing, smiling, which to me, by the way, which is just very bizarre.
Yes, 100%. So when I did come into the courtroom and sit there.
That's wild. Shout out to Crew Reality. So he said he still supports her. Shout out to Crew. Crew says this is the same Sam Bozo that says he still supports him or supports her. Wow. I didn't know that. Real quick, shout out to everybody that's watching. I appreciate you guys. We got 27 people watching and we got 17 likes. If everybody could take a moment, smash that like button and get us to 30, that'd be wonderful.
Down, and when you had this whole side,
shout out to Kale. What's good with it, bro?
On the prosecution side, fully packed with all types of attorneys and other people or whatnot, and on my side it was pretty empty. And Kamala Harris sat front row for when the sentencing came down, and when I looked back just to see who was there in general, and you see her front row, kind of in this celebration mode, laughing.
So there goes the laughter. There goes the laughter. Is anybody surprised that in this situation, Kamala Harris was just cracking up like something was hilarious?
We locked eyes one time, and it did feel like, she was laughing at me. That's how I felt. But the laugh was similar to what you see her laugh now, right? Yeah. After any celebration or any, discomfort of any sort, she just laughs. And, now I didn't know that at the time that was kind of like her thing or whatnot, but I took it personal. That this lady that is head district attorney of San Francisco that is presumptuously black, right, is laughing at me.
Why was she even?
Did you hear how he said presumptuously black? Listen to this. He said presumptuously black.
That was kind of like her thing or whatnot, but I took it
personal. Shout out to AB. What's good with you,
bro? This lady that is head district attorney of San Francisco that is presumptuously black, right, is laughing at me.
Why was she even in the courtroom? Was your case that public here in the Bay Area that she felt the need to be there in the front row on the day that the jury read the verdict?
Yeah, I had a very publicized case because I was previously on a reality show called I Love New York. And it's a murder case. I mean, San Francisco is only 7 by 7. There's not too many murders that's happening, and you have to know that having that on your record, a conviction record of, convicting murderers, right, was something that she was running on. And you got to think about, she was running for attorney general at the time. Right. So for her, at any time she could, celebrate her doing her job or whatnot, then,
So let me ask you guys this question. You guys see how the mainstream media is making up a lot of things and creating a lot of narratives, and there's running narratives going for Kamala Harris. Who's to say that during this time, if she was running on this tough on crime campaign, that same type of thing wouldn't happen and they would bump her conviction record up by just throwing everybody under the bus? Who's to say that something like that would not happen? That's my question for you guys. What do you guys think?
She made it a point to show up and make a comment after as well.
You gonna vote for
Shout out
Kamala
to the
Harris
foreign pretty boy. What's good with you,
No,
bro?
absolutely not. I'm voting Trump this year.
Do you feel like
Yeah, so he said that he's voting Trump. He's voting Trump. And now, as far as this media manipulation goes, this is going to go in further to what we're going to be talking about once we get into talking about Tulsi Gabbard.
She was running for attorney general at the time. Right. So for her, at any time she could, celebrate her doing her job or whatnot, then, she made it a point to show up and make a comment after as well.
You gonna vote for Kamala Harris in November?
No, absolutely not. I'm voting Trump this year.
Do you feel like there are a lot of people in the African-American community and the Black community that feel the same way about Kamala versus Trump now?
Yes, 100%. I mean, what I get from my community, the Black community, and I'm not talking about the super, left-wing media Black community. I'm talking about people, everyday people that I see and talk to in rural areas and so forth.
I'm glad he made a distinction between that. I'm glad that he made a distinction between the super left-wing Black media and actual Black people. It's not very often that you see that done.
That says, the only thing that Kamala's ever did for Black people was lock Black people up. And that played a big part to our culture. Our culture is known for Black people going to jail, coming home, rapping about it, and being celebrated, about it as well. But from what I get from the people that I talk to, that they're not voting for Kamala Harris, and they're not voting for Kamala Harris just because she's Black neither. They're voting.
Yeah, that's crazy. Shout out to Crew Reality. It's crazy to rock with her at all after she's put you in prison and laughed at you. You know what I'm saying? You said his check ain't clear. Facts.
For Trump, they don't want to vocalize it in public too much because you get demonized, which in a lot of aspects, I'm being demonized right now.
Right. Now, let me ask you guys this question. Is this true? If I would say that there's equal demonization for people who are not supporting Kamala Harris and for people that are supporting Trump. Whether you're on the couch or whether you're with Trump, you get the same type of demonization by these toxic, radical, blue pill Democrat simps. These simp cells. If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down.
They're not voting for Kamala Harris, and they're not voting for Kamala Harris just because she's Black neither. They're voting for Trump. They don't want to vocalize it in public too much because you get demonized, which in a lot of aspects, I'm being demonized right now, right, because I'm going against, the status quo of the Black vote, which in the past two elections, I believe it was like 90% of Black people, voted, Democratic, which I think is just, so far beyond, how we really feel on the day-to-day.
Now, do you agree with that? Most Black people don't actually agree with the Democrat talking points and the Democrat tenets. I would actually agree with that. And my question for everybody watching would be, why do people then continue to vote in that direction? I don't understand that.
Having conversations about politics, not as a politician, but just from information that we take in.
How long did you spend in jail, Jamal?
I spent 6.5 years in prison.
You'll never get that time back.
I'll never get it back.
Tell me about that.
Well, living in prison is a whole different type of lifestyle that you have to live, right? That you can almost never reflect on once you're free. So it's 6.5 years of not growing, in this world in general. And it also puts a magnifying glass on the life that I was living for the first 23 years that I can't live that way. And now I was forced to live in prison for 6.5 years and I can't live that way. And now I have to create a life outside of those two lifestyles, you know, like a newborn and really relearn, you know, reality for me, and also the exposure to, you know, the mass majority of America and not just my section.
You know, I've been in San Francisco for a couple of days now. Used to live in California.
Yeah. Used
to spend time up here. Beautiful city.
Yeah.
World-class city.
Beautiful city.
I don't know what's going on now, but it's not the city that I remember.
Yeah.
And I think about, okay, well, who's been in charge here for the last, you know, recent history? Well, it's always been Democrats. You think about Nancy Pelosi, Gavin Newsom, former mayor.
Yeah.
Kamala Harris, district attorney.
So as you're looking at this overhead, this bird's eye view of the city, this goes back to that question that I asked on the other channel about, is there anywhere in the world where there is a operational, functional, thriving left-wing Democrat liberal utopia? Can anybody name me a location where that system of economics and that system of government is working? If anybody knows the name of that place, please make sure that you drop it in the comment section. And also shout out to everybody that's watching. I really appreciate you guys. We got 44 people in here watching. That's amazing. Make sure you guys smash the like button if you haven't. We got 31 likes. If everybody could bang on that like button and get us to 70, that'd be great.
Attorney General, then ran for the Senate 2016. London breed, Democratic mayor, running for re-election this year, so she's trying to clean things up. What do you make of what's happened? And I know you split your time between here and Los Angeles for professional reasons and family.
Yeah.
What do you make of what's changed in this city, say, over the last 10 years?
Well, 10 years ago, I was still in prison, which is, you know, crazy. But if I could tell you what I make up of the city now compared to what I anticipated living in when I was coming up in San Francisco, it is not the San Francisco I envisioned to live in. You know, when you look at the homeless problem here in San Francisco, the way that, you know, politics have rampant over the original San Franciscans and made sure that they prioritize, you know, what we call surrogates.
What does he mean right there? What's he talking about right there? What's he talking about right there, guys?
Francisco, the way that, you know, politics have rampant over the original San Franciscans and made sure that they prioritize,
what's good with it, bro?
You know, what we call surrogates here in San Francisco is really, it's offensive.
Jamal, you're 39 years old. You've got a bright future. I'm so glad you're able to be with us here and not behind bars.
Yeah.
Thanks for being with us. We appreciate you telling your story.
Thank you.